بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Welcome for another session of Taraweeh Pearls. We're on Juz 27. MashaAllah, beautiful Juz with many surahs. Dhariyat, Tur, Najm, Qamar, Rahman, Waqi'ah and Hadid. And of course, this being about a 10-minute video or so, we can't go through every single surah, but with every episode we just try to give you a pearl or two to ponder about, and inshallah opportunity for you guys to dig deeper into these surahs. Surah Al-Dhariyat, a couple of ayahs want to focus on. Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala near the end says, فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. So hasten and run towards Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, often if you're afraid of something, you run away. But with Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to run towards Him, towards obeying Him, towards, learning more about what He wants from us, our obligations, before it's too late. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنِّي لَكُم مِّنْهُ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. Verily, O Muhammad, tell them that you are a warner to them. The prophets were all warners and givers of glad tidings. And so, إِنِّي لَكُم مِّنْهُ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ وَلَا تَجْعَلُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرَ إِنِّي لَكُم مِّنْهُ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. And do not ascribe any partners to Allah. Verily, I am a clean warner to you. A clean warner, warning us of hellfire, of Allah's torment, وَلِيَعَذُ بِاللَّهِ. And there's no joke with regards to this. And subhanAllah, it continues, كَذَلِكَ مَا أَتَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا قَالُوا سَاحِرٌ أَوْ مَجْنُونَ. Any prophet that came before the Prophet ﷺ, the response of the people was always Sahirun aw Majnoon, a sorcerer, a magician, or a crazy madman. This was the accusation thrown back. The prophets came with logical things, with evidences, etc. And the only thing they got back was sorcerer or a magician. Allah says, Atawasaw bih. Was this inherited knowledge that they passed on to the next generation? Tawsiyah, when you do a wasiyah, a will. And so Allah says, is this something that is passed on from generation to generation until it reached Quraysh, and they're saying the same thing to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. بَلْ هُمْ قَوْمٌ طَاغُونَ. No, indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds, it's only that they are transgressing people, transgressing in belief. But subhanAllah, that continues until today. The accusations against Muslims, etc., often not logical, just a bunch of words thrown at Islam and Muslims instead of logical debates about the aqidah, about the beliefs of Islam. So then we go to Surah Al-Tur, and about halfway through, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses this technique that often used in the Qur'an, where He asks questions and responds sometimes, and sometimes He just leaves it for the reader to respond to these questions. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَمْ تَأْمُرُ مَحْلَامُهُمْ بِهَذَا أَمْ هُمْ قَوْمٌ طَاغُونَ. Do their minds command them to tell lies against you, O Muhammad, or are they people transgressing all bounds? Or do they say, أَمْ يَقُولُونَ تَقَوَّلَهُ. Do they say that he forged it? بَلْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. No, indeed, they do not believe. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings it logically. If you say that Muhammad, again, he forged this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلْيَأْتُوا بِحَدِيثٍ مِثْلِهِ إِن كَانُوا صَادِقِينَ. Then let them bring sayings, words like this, if they are telling the truth. And this was a message, this was a challenge, really, to the Quraysh and for all mankind. If Prophet ﷺ produced this book, then go ahead and produce something similar to it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues and questions, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ. Were they created out of nothing? Who created everything? Just we came about out of nothing? أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ. Or are they the creators? SubhanAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala here goes again logically, debating in the Qur'an against anyone who disbelieves, against atheists, against the Quraysh. And people say, oh, Big Bang, blah, blah. Well, you can go back and say, who created the Big Bang? What was there before the Big Bang? That matter that the Big Bang was composed of, what created that matter? And what made this explosion happen? What caused it? And how was the result of this explosion perfect symmetry throughout the universe. So much that life is given. أم عندهم خزائن ربك أم هم المسيطرون أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض بل لا يوقنون أم عندهم خزائن ربك أم هم المسيطرون. Or did they create the heavens and the earth? No, they do not comprehend. Or do they have the possessions of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala? خزائن ربك أم هم المسيطرون. So again, Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala using this technique to go back and forth and make people ponder and wonder and really come to a solid foundation of belief, not just belief that is passed on from generation to generation, but belief based firmly on intellectual, logical reasoning and understanding of the reality. And then we go to Surah Al-Najm, where Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the Isra Mi'raj over there. Surah Al-Qamar, where Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, describing the previous nations, Ad, Thamud, Qawm Lut, etc. Surah Al-Rahman, beautiful surah that most people just love that surah with all the descriptions of heaven, detailed descriptions of heaven, also of hell. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, may Allah give us Jannat al-Firdaus, Ameen. And then Surah Al-Waqi'ah, again, beautiful surah, a lot of detailed description of heaven there, and also of Allah's punishment, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. And then the juz ends with Surah Al-Hadid, and we'll just take one part of Surah Al-Hadid, where Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا يستوي منكم من أنفق من قبل الفتح وقاتل. It is not equal, those amongst you who gave in charity before the opening of Mecca, and fought and struggled with the Prophet ﷺ. That was much more difficult. After Islam had spread, it's much easier. أولئك أعظم درجة من الذين أنفقوا من بعد وقاتلوا. Those are a lot higher in ranks than those who gave in charity afterwards and fought with the Prophet ﷺ. Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكُلَّ وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى. But Allah has promised all of them husna, greatness. And this really, reflecting on it with us, Islam now, it's down. It's very difficult to really practice, to really struggle for Islam. But this is the time where we need to really struggle and be amongst those, who revive this deen, revive the ummah. And inshallah, when the revival does come, people will be much easier to struggle for the deen. Once Islam is established, it'll be much easier. And inshallah that will happen. And inshallah in our lifetime, and inshallah people will be struggling for the deen and openly embracing the deen. But this is the time where we need to take advantage. The ummah being at a low point, this is our opportunity to really go out there and really struggle for Allah's sake, and really give in charity and struggle for His sake. So with that, this just comes to an end. Again, always, please, there's so many gems and pearls in the Qur'an, and we encourage everyone to really dig into it, sit down in halaqas of tafsir, and look into the beautiful gems that are in the Qur'an, and not just listen to it and not reflect and ponder about it. And we'll see you guys inshallah in the next episode of Taraweeh Pearls.